Hey friends. Well, I'm back again with yet another installment of insights I had while practicing music with my daughter. Man, do they ever keep coming. And it's like I recognize in my own frustration at this point, I recognize a kind of like a pattern or some sort of lesson that I'm supposed to learn, and that the universe is refusing to allow me to ignore any longer. And in the case of Annalise and her violin practice, the lesson is it has to be fun. She will straight up tell me, you're not making it fun right now, or you're not being silly right now. That's how she often says it. I'm not being silly enough. That's the charge. Of course, from my point of view, I've asked a 5-year-old to do something like 5 or 10 times, and she's still not doing it. And so I'm getting annoyed. And I feel like I'm wasting time. And I'm wondering what the problem here is. But again and again and again and again and again, I get this very direct declaration from her: this has to be fun. You have to make this fun for me. Today there was a moment where I said, I promised that I was going to, I forgot if I promised I was going to not get upset. I promised I was going to be silly. I think I promised I was going to be silly. Or that I was going to be playful or something. And immediately, she starts dancing around, not doing what I'm asking her to do. And I was like, are you just trying to see if and my promise had to be, no matter what, even if she doesn't listen, I still have to be friendly or upbeat or whatever, not upset, silly. And she started dancing around, and I was like, are you just trying to see? She's like, yeah, I'm seeing if you'll do what you promised. Even if I'm being super annoying and not listening, you still have to be silly. I was like, yeah, wow. But again, right at a moment when I was like, why, she said something like, what if we just do a game where I pull papers out of a bowl and then whatever's on the paper I have to do? And I was like, for real? Yeah, okay, let's do that. And I got paper and I put all the exercises on pieces of paper and I put them in a bowl. And she started pulling them. And she started doing them. Every single one. And I was like, this is a joke? This is a game we played like a year ago. And it made a little bit of a difference then, but not that much of one. For some reason now, she was ready for that game. And that game meant that we had like a smooth all the way right up to the end when she got tired, and then it got a little rough again. But all the way up to the end, she was practicing. She did several exercises more than once because she insisted that they all have to go back in the bowl. You can't just leave one out just because you've done it. You have to be able to do it again. She did them again. And I was like, this is amazing. That's all we had to do. Gamify it. And it hit, I feel like I just took one trudging step further down the road of understanding that everything has to be fun. Everything has to be a game. That's my job. My job is to see how much of what I know as a lifelong student of music with 2 degrees in music, how much of what I know can I gamify? If I can't make it fun, it's like it doesn't count. Which, in a weird way, feels like I'm being asked to revisit everything I know and consider how it does or does not bring me joy in my implementation of this knowledge or my holding of this knowledge. She's almost like saying, if you can't make this, if you don't enjoy this enough to make me enjoy it, I'm not going to do it. Which, of course, is infuriating until I stop and realize that's actually exactly what a wise being would demand of everything that they are being asked to learn. It's like if you gave someone a drink and you were like, this tastes like garbage, but it's really healthy. Like, just drink it. It tastes like crap. It tastes like puke mixed with compost and vinegar. You're gonna want to puke, but just drink it. The person would be within their rights to say, I don't think I need this. I think my body can discern what it wants to ingest and what it doesn't. It's kind of like that for knowledge. Because if I have to just torture myself to drive this information or this skill or whatever it is into myself, why do I need it? What purpose is it serving? And no thank you. No thank you very much. Seems to be her response. She's saying, make this worth it. Make this something that I can embrace with my whole being, not just with my mind or with some small portion of me, that I can manage to siphon this through while I shut off the rest of my enthusiastic, lively being. And that's her standard. Her standard is, make me love this. Otherwise, you're not going to convince me that it's worth it. Which, when I say it that way, I'm like, okay, that's a fair point. And also, it puts me in the position of having an opportunity to revisit everything I know, or at least everything that I'm trying to impart, and say, what's fun about this? How does this piece of information or this piece of knowledge or this thing that I'm trying to help her learn, how does it contribute to lightness and joy in my being? And if it doesn't, then I either need to find a way for it to, or maybe I need to just remember how at one point it did, or maybe I need to completely reevaluate the way I hold this particular thing so that it does bring me joy, so I get to redefine it for myself. I get to re-imbibe my own knowledge, my own experience, and filter it for joy. It's like I'm filtering for joy. She's filtering for joy. Joy is her filter. Does this bring me joy? I'm in. Does it not bring me joy? I'm out. She does it very powerfully and very rigorously. So that's the next step in my learning, is like, okay, how? And it doesn't have to be like it's not as complicated as it seems. Sometimes it's just like write everything on a piece of paper and put it in a bowl. Just make it fun. Make everything fun somehow. And it's just such a genius approach to life. It's such a genius approach to life. Because what else could possibly be more right than allowing experiences into us on the basis of whether or not they bring us joy? Why? What other criterion do we need? That's why I'm really glad she's at a Montessori school, because she's probably like learning this whole approach there, or at least it's being reinforced, and B, she gets to maintain it there. She gets to apply this to her learning overall. And like I said, I get to refilter everything I know. I get to go through the entire catalog of my own, in this case, musical background, but it really just could apply to anything. And sort of feel whether it's bringing joy or not. It's like Marie Kondoing the contents of my mind. Does this bring me joy? No. What's it doing here? That's where I am today, folks. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.